The Seoul Global Martial Arts Festival was full of life. It felt like the whole building was shaking with energy. People were sweating, showing off amazing skills, and putting on a big show. The arena looked like an ocean of flags from different countries, flashing cameras, and the steady sounds of fists and feet hitting pads. Thousands of people sat in the seats, cheering loudly. Their voices sounded like a giant wave crashing onto the beach. They were all watching martial artists from around the world showing what they could do. In the middle of everything, there was a big stage covered in bright white lights. It was the center of the show, the place where great fighters were made, and some got defeated too. Tonight, something very special was going to happen. In a special area of the seats, called the VIP section, sat a man named Jason Statham. He didn't talk much, but his presence felt strong and calm. People knew him from movies where he played tough guys. But tonight, he wasn't here to act. He wasn't here to show off. Jason was there for something important. He was there to remember someone he loved and respected, his teacher, Elias Kwan. Elias was a great martial artist who had trained many fighters, but not many people knew his name. He didn't try to be famous. Elias Kwan had trained Jason when he was young. Back then, Jason was just a tough kid from a small town. But Elias taught him how to control his strength, how to be kind, and how to fight with meaning. Now, Elias is gone. He passed away after being sick for a long time. Jason had come to this festival in Seoul to honor his teacher, to sit among other great fighters and remember the man who had changed his life. The evening was full of amazing performances. Fighters showed kung fu moves that looked sharp like swords. Others did judo throws that made the mats shake when their opponents hit the ground. Some performed cool flips and spins, looking like dancers in the air. Jason watched everything with his arms crossed. His face was serious, focused. People asked him to get on stage and perform too, but he said no. He wasn't there to be part of the show. He was there as a guest and to pay quiet respect to his teacher, Elias Kwan. But then, something changed. The mood in the arena shifted. A fighter named Riker Jean walked onto the stage. Riker was 38 years old and one of the best Taekwondo fighters in the world. He was a 5th-degree black belt, and everyone knew about his powerful kicks. He moved like he owned the stage, fast, strong, and full of confidence. He began his demonstration. His legs flew through the air with spinning crescent kicks, fast and beautiful. He kicked and punched so quickly that his sparring partners couldn't keep up. The crowd cheered loudly. People loved watching him. Then, Riker took the microphone. He had something to say. His voice echoed around the whole arena. "Martial arts is about growing and getting better," he said loudly. "Taekwondo is the future. It's the best way to fight. Other styles are old and weak. People like Elias Kwan, those old teachers, what they taught doesn't matter anymore. His students aren't strong. He's just a memory now." The whole arena went silent. It was like someone had slapped the air. Most people didn't know who Elias Kwan was. But those who did, they were shocked. To them, Elias's name was like magic. It was something to be honored. In the VIP section, Jason Statham's eyes narrowed. His hands gripped the armrests of his chair. He had heard stories about Riker, how he often made fun of other martial arts to make Taekwondo seem better. But this time, Riker had crossed a line. This wasn't just rude. This was personal. Jason's mind went back to a memory, a rainy day in an old gym, with the sound of punching bags hitting the walls. He remembered Elias Kwan's voice. "It's not about how hard you hit, Jason," Elias had said, his eyes calm. "It's about why you hit. You fight for honor. If not, then you're just making noise." Jason had carried those words with him every day, in every movie, every stunt, and every tough moment in life. And now, Riker had insulted the man who gave him that wisdom. The crowd was restless. They could feel something happening. Riker's students stood behind him, proud and ready, but some looked a little nervous. The announcer tried to move things along and introduce the next performance. But Jason Statham was already moving. He stood up from his seat. His black leather jacket shimmered in the lights as he walked down the stairs toward the stage. People began whispering and pointing. "Is that Jason Statham? What is he doing?" Riker saw him coming. He smiled in a smug, mocking way. He grabbed the microphone again. Well, look who it is, Riker said with a smirk. "The Hollywood hero. Are you here to watch a real fighter?" Jason walked to the edge of the stage. His eyes stared straight into Riker's. The arena was so quiet you could hear a pin drop. "I'm here for Elias Kwan," Jason said. His voice was calm, but strong. It cut through the silence like a sword. "You don't get to talk about him like that." The crowd gasped and then burst into cheers. Some people were yelling, others clapping. The energy had changed completely. Riker's smile faded just a bit. He could feel the challenge. "You think you can step up to me, movie star?" Riker said. "This isn't a film. This is real. This is my world." Jason stepped onto the stage. He took off his jacket and pointed to the sky, as if to say, "This is for you, master." "I'm not here to show off in your world," Jason said. "I'm here to show you his." Riker looked at him, and then slowly took off the top part of his dobok, his martial arts uniform. Underneath, his body was strong and trained from many years of hard work. "Fine," Riker said, full of pride. "Let's see what Elias Kwan taught you." The arena shook with excitement. People jumped out of their seats. Some were cheering. Some were holding up phones to record. The organizers looked unsure. Should they stop it? Should they let it happen? But it was already too late. Riker's students stepped forward, ready to protect their teacher. But Riker raised his hand. He didn't want help. He wanted to prove something. Jason stood tall, calm, his hands at his sides. They bowed to each other, showing respect before the match. Then, they moved. Riker rushed forward with a spinning kick, aiming for Jason's head. But Jason ducked and stepped aside. He didn't move fast, he moved smart. Riker threw another kick, this time lower, aiming for Jason's legs. Jason blocked it with his shin and countered with a quick punch to the chest. The crowd was wild. Every move brought cheers and gasps. Riker used flashy moves, spinning, jumping, showing off his speed. Jason used simple, powerful movements. He didn't waste energy. He stayed calm, just like his master had taught him. One move. One purpose. Riker tried to knock Jason down with a flying kick, but Jason sidestepped and used Riker's own movement to flip him over. Riker hit the mat with a loud thud. Everyone froze. Jason stepped back and gave Riker space to stand up. Riker looked surprised. He stood slowly, breathing hard. His confidence was shaking. Jason didn't say anything. He just waited. Riker rushed again, this time with punches. Fast, sharp, angry. Jason blocked the first, dodged the second, and landed a clean strike to Riker's stomach that made him stumble backward. Riker dropped to one knee. Jason stood still. He wasn't trying to hurt Riker. He was trying to teach him. He looked down at him and said, "It's not the punch. That's the purpose." He bowed to the sky. To Elias Kwan. Jason bowed too. The crowd rose to their feet, clapping, cheering, some even crying. It wasn't just a fight. It was a lesson. A lesson about honor. A lesson about respect. And the name Elias Kwan, it echoed louder than ever before. The stage was ready. The big bright lights dimmed down until only one strong light shone on two men. Everyone was quiet, waiting to see what would happen. One of the men, Statham, took off his jacket. Under it, he wore a black t-shirt. You could see that he was strong, like someone who worked out every day. He didn't look like a movie star now. He looked like a real fighter, one who had trained for years and never stopped. His teacher master had taught him to use his energy wisely. He had learned how to be fast, smart, and strong in a fight. The rules of the fight were simple. It would be a short match, only 3 minutes. No weapons. No dirty tricks. Just skill and power. The crowd was excited. Everyone had their phones out, ready to record the fight. This was going to be something special. Riker, the other fighter, was the first to move. He was fast, super fast. He spun and kicked high at Statham's head. The air swished as the kick came close. But Statham was ready. He ducked just in time. The kick barely touched his hair. Statham quickly punched Riker in the chest. It was a quick hit, but it made Riker breathe out hard. Riker didn't stop. He kicked again and again. A side kick, a crescent kick, then an axe kick. Each one was sharp and clean, like a machine. Statham blocked with his strong arms and moved around with smart footwork. You could tell he had learned kickboxing really well. The crowd cheered loudly as the two men kept fighting. Punch after punch, kick after kick, they moved like dancers, but this was a dance of power. Riker was younger than Statham. He was faster too. His legs moved like pistons in a car. He spun and kicked again, this time hitting Statham's shoulder. Ouch. That hurt. But Statham didn't stop. He had trained for moments like this. He had learned not to give up, no matter what. He got closer to Riker so Riker couldn't kick him so easily. Then he punched Riker in the side, right in the ribs. Riker made a noise, showing he felt that one. He looked a little unsure now, but he still had fire in his eyes. Riker stepped back to make space. He needed room for his kicks. Then he jumped into the air and kicked straight at Statham's chest. Statham saw it coming. He moved to the side, grabbed Riker's leg, and twisted it. Riker fell to the ground, but he rolled and stood back up fast. His face showed both anger and something else, respect. "Not bad, old man," Riker said, breathing hard. But his voice wasn't mean anymore. "Save it," Statham replied. His eyes were serious. "This isn't about age. It's about what you fight for." Now the second minute has started. This part of the fight was like a chess game. Each man tried to trick the other. Riker kept kicking, fast and strong. But Statham was ready. He used a mix of fighting styles, kickboxing and Brazilian jiu-jitsu. That gave him an edge when they got close. Riker kicked low. Statham quickly swept Riker's other leg. Bam! Riker hit the ground again. But this time Statham didn't wait. He dropped into a special fighting pose for grappling. Riker tried to get away. Taekwondo was his style, and it worked best when standing. On the ground, it was harder for him to fight back. Still, Riker was quick. He used his elbow to hit Statham's jaw. That hurt. Statham had to let go. The crowd was on fire now. Everyone was standing, shouting, cheering. The noise was so loud it felt like the roof might pop off. Statham touched his lip. Blood. But he didn't care. He stayed focused. In his mind, he heard Master's voice. A fight's not about who hits harder. It's about who keeps going. There were only 30 seconds left. Statham knew it was time. He had to end it now. He pretended to punch high. Riker raised his arms to block it. But it was a trick. Statham dropped low and grabbed Riker's legs. Boom. Riker slammed into the mat. Statham didn't stop. He moved quickly into a strong hold, pinning Riker's body and grabbing his arm. It was a move called a Kimura hold. It twisted the arm and made it hard to move. Riker struggled. His face twisted in pain. But Statham didn't let go. "Yes," Statham said, his voice calm but strong. "This is for Master. For honor." Riker looked up at Statham. At that moment, everything else disappeared. The crowd, the lights, the noise. It was all gone. He didn't see a movie star. He saw a real fighter. A warrior who was protecting something important. Riker nodded slowly. Then he tapped the mat. That meant he gave up. He knew he couldn't win this one. The crowd went wild. People screamed, clapped, and jumped. Phones flashed as everyone recorded the end of the match. Statham let go of Riker's arm and stood up. He reached out a hand. Riker looked at it for a second, then grabbed it. Statham helped him stand. The two fighters looked at each other, face to face. The air between them changed. No more anger. Only respect. Riker bowed a little. His voice was quiet but clear. "I was wrong about Master," he said. "His strength lives in you." Statham nodded. His face softened just a little. "He'd want you to keep fighting," he said. "But fight for the right reasons." The crowd kept shouting Statham's name. But Statham didn't stay in the spotlight. He grabbed his jacket and walked off the stage. Every step he took was calm and full of purpose. As he walked back to the VIP section, his eyes caught something. A young boy in the crowd, watching with big, bright eyes. The boy had the same fire Statham once had. The fire to learn. To fight for something bigger than himself. Statham gave the boy a nod. Just a small one. But it meant something big. It was a promise. A silent message. Master's legacy will live on. The festival continued. There were more shows, more cheers. But everyone knew who the night really belonged to. It was Statham's night. Not because he was famous. Not because he was strong. But because he had honored his teacher. People all over the world watched the fight on their phones. The videos spread quickly. Everyone talked about it. Some said Riker was faster. Others said Statham was smarter. But most people agreed it was about respect, heart, and real martial arts. For Statham, it was simple. He had done what the master taught him. Stand up. Fight hard. And always honor those who gave you strength. Under the soft lights, as the crowd moved on to the next act, Statham looked up. He felt something warm, something peaceful. Like the master was there, watching him. Proud. Happy. And silently saying, "Well done, my student."